December 11th.
Don't feel bad for me. December 12th, actually.
It's December 12th.
It's 12/12/2022.
I blew it. December 12th, everybody.
Yes.
And we're going to talk hoops. We'll talk more football.
Yes. You know what? Before we do that, though, I've done this for a long time. And it's sponsored, by the way. How about this? It is time for the RenewYourAuto.com roll call. Whoa. That's right. It's sponsored. The roll call is sponsored by RenewYourAuto.com, 2 locations in Lincoln. Go talk to my friend David up there for more information on how you can get your car detailed, tinted, everything you want to do.
Do a roll call.
RenewYourAuto.com. 464-5685. Where are you listing from? What is your name? If you want to, for SIP, what is your age?
I just like to know that demographic.
Name, where from, and if you'd like to, your age. 464-5685. We'll get some more of that here in a second.
Please do.
Regarding the weekend, it was on Saturday. I was not at the game. You were there, as was Josh. Our producer was there.
Joshua
was at the game. Nebraska basketball hung tough against Purdue. Nebraska hosted Purdue on Saturday in Lincoln. The game goes to overtime, tied overtime at 56 apiece, and then Purdue wins 65-62 in Lincoln. So the Huskers do fall to 6-5 overall, 0-2 in conference play, but they've played back-to-back games against probably the 2 best big guys in the conference, and Trace Jackson Davis in Indiana and Zach Edey at Purdue. And although those guys had good overall stats when you combine the blocks and rebounds, the points didn't kill you. 11 points for Zach Edey, who averaged a lot more than that coming into the game. He was in the 20s, I think, for average coming into the game. Nebraska, 11 points, 17 boards for him, and 7 blocks. So he had a good game, but he didn't kill you with a massive 30-pointer.
Doubled him. They go ahead, say it. Well, of course they doubled him. They doubled.
Of course they doubled him.
They doubled him. But they did a good job. I mean, Edey's a pretty good passer. Had no assists. I think they did doubling him, swarming him a little bit. But I think you have to scramble out of that too, and they did a good job of that. Fletcher Lawyer.
He's a problem.
He's good. He's good. Only 2 of 10 from 3-point line, and he cooled off a little bit in the second half, which helped Nebraska. We're doing this thing where we're starting to talk about the game like Nebraska won. It didn't win.
Right.
It missed too many shots down the stretch. Missed a couple key free throw opportunities. Had itself a position to win, and I think Nebraska's stamping itself as sort of a team you better watch pretty closely in the Big Ten.
They're going to be a pest. They might not win a ton of games, but they're going to be a pest for teams.
Okay, hold on.
They remind me, Sip.
I know do better than that.
Well, I'd like to. I'm not going all in. They're going to win 8 games yet. I'm not.
You're not.
No. Because they have to do it they got to win a game.
I appreciate that.
I was talking to a buddy about this the other day on Saturday after they lost. As long as Nebraska stays in it, like they stay interested, they don't, because when you lose a lot of close games, it's easy to lose interest because you think, okay, we're just not going to get over the hump. We've been bad for a couple of years. We're just going to be a team that's better, but not a bad point.
It's not a bad point.
So if they get one of these games coming up in Big Ten play, they've
got one already.
Not in Big Ten play,
but they got a big pelt.
They lost.
They got a big pelt.
Creighton was a big pelt.
Yeah.
But they have not won a conference game yet.
You aren't a bad mood.
They play Kansas State, non-conference game this Saturday in Kansas City at the T-Mobile Center by Power and Light. They play Queens, New York next week as well. And then you got, some conference games coming up after Christmas. So listen, it was an encouraging performance. I was watching this in Kansas City, and Zach a bar full of Nebraska fans watching this game, which was odd enough in a brewery district of Kansas City.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's getting pretty loud in there for Nebraska. But Huskers fall 65-62. This is what I was going to say. They remind me a little bit of year 1 or 2 Rutgers team with Steve Peichel, right? Tough, pretty physical team. But we have not seen him under Fred Hoiberg at all until this year.
Yeah.
And that is encouraging. They finally look like a team that's going to play Big Ten basketball and not try to fit in something else. It's not Big Ten basketball in the conference and fail miserably.
Mm-hmm. You're right. It's different. I mean,
does it feel that way to you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just think about the Purdue game last year. Remember that? Remember the Purdue game last year? Was it basically over at the first media timeout?
It was not good.
It was almost over at the first media timeout. Nebraska ended up losing 92-65. I asked Painter after the game, okay, there was that game, which you won by, you're up by 40, close. What's the difference? And it was sort of awkward because he just looked at me and goes, defense. And he didn't say anything.
That's it.
Defense. He did expand on it. But, yeah, it's defense. Nebraska plays good defense. You're right about something here. Now, I'm surprised you're not more excited, but you're in a bad mood. The vibe is overwhelmingly bad.
Well, you could blame Sunday Night Football,
right,
and Dolphins' performance.
You're right about something, though. Okay, they played Purdue tough.
Yes,
they got to overtime.
Yes,
and now that's probably the best team in the Big Ten, by the way. Probably Indiana's
pretty good,
or Purdue. Okay, they played them both. They pushed Purdue to the limit. You're right about something, though. Pushing teams to the limit, that begins to feel empty.
You got to get over the hump.
I can tell you're not. I thought you'd be a little more excited about this game.
I would have been if last night went differently.
Okay. But they are Nebraska. Now, I'm sure it's on Fred's mind. Yeah, this is a good team. We got a nice team here, and we're going to win some games. But we're going to have to finish games. We're going to have to finish games, and that means making shots and making free throws. And they didn't. Now, Purdue did.
Yeah, they did.
But here's the thing about it. Purdue missed a lot of shots, too, down the stretch.
They did.
I mean, I'm hearing Nebraska fans say, man, we just missed so many shots, and we didn't get a call. Yeah, well, Purdue missed a lot of shots, too, and they got some calls that went against them.
They did.
I mean, you're right. That road runs two ways.
Now, the one you hear about, the complaint, is at the very end, which was a bad foul call. Nebraska was down by one. 63-62. Nebraska gets it. It should have been a steal at midcourt.
Yeah, they're down 63-62.
Down by one. Yeah, down one.
14 seconds.
Right. And Purdue, has the ball. They're trying to get across midcourt.
Braden Smith's the point
guard. Loses the ball.
He just loses it. He's losing the ball. Wilcher sort of makes a move toward him. Yes. I don't know if there's any CJ Wilcher.
He might have touched his jersey, but that's not didn't grab him. Didn't grab his jersey. Didn't forearm.
Yeah, it seemed like the ref wanted to blow he did blow it, so he obviously wanted to, but it was quick. It was a quick whistle. That's what I'm trying to get at. It was quick. Nebraska gets that ball. It looks like they had numbers. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Then they're going up by one, probably. So, yeah, the whole tenor of the game changes there. Braden Smith goes to the line and makes two free throws. They're up 65-62. Sam Griesel, I think it was, missed a three.
That's right.
Late, and then that was it. A ball,
Derek got the rebound, tried to pass it out, and I forget who made the play, but somebody from Purdue got it with 1 second, and that was it.
Yeah,
you would have had.
They got in a scramble.
I believe Bandamel was going to be the guy who's going to take that shot, but it got intercepted on the pass out there.
Yeah,
that was it.
It was definitely a bad call, but I don't know. Now I heard talk yesterday. There's a lot of focus on the refs now. Okay, a lot of people.
Well, what else is new?
And now, one thing that we actually agree on a lot of things, and one thing I think we agree on is that we're not going to turn this show into a ref battle.
No, we never have.
No, because that's a dangerous game to play.
I mean, there are bad calls in every game, every sport, every game, every team.
Right,
gets bad calls against them, and that was unfortunate. It happened to Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm not doing this thing where we just turn a show into. All the refs need to be accountable. They need to have a press conference after the game and blah, blah. I mean, it's just what are we doing? What are we doing?
I would say that if both teams have multiple guys fouling out, then it tends to be a ref show a little bit. But this was not the case on Saturday. Nobody fouled out in the game. I mean, Nebraska had 3 guys with 4 fouls: Juwan, Gary, Walker, and Bandama. But when you go to overtime, you're going to have that situation. There was an unfortunate call in overtime, but that was an unfortunate call.
It was unfortunate, too, that Nebraska missed at one point on one possession 4 straight shots. and had four cracks at it and missed. Purdue also missed shots down the stretch.
They
Okay,
did.
what are people saying?
Eric says, "How old are you, Jake? You whine like a 7-year-old brat."
Whoa.
What am I whining about?
I'm whining a little bit today
about the Dolphins.
Yeah,
but we moved on from that. I'm talking Nebraska ball now.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say you're whining like a 7-year-old.
Am I whining about like a 7-year-old brat? No,
you're not.
Basketball?
No, you're not. You're not.
My question off the bat even says my question
what
was
is your
this:
question?
464-5685 regarding Nebraska basketball. So they lost a close game to Purdue.
Yeah.
Is there a chance this season will become more than moral victories?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. I do think there's a chance. Now, we're not on the same page, as I am starting to lean toward thinking Nebraska can get to 6-14, 7-13, 8-12 range in the Big Ten. If they get to 8-12 range, then you're on the bubble. But they're going to have to be able to close out wins. That's the thing. Playing close doesn't get you. Playing teams close doesn't get you to the NCAA tournament.
Nope,
it doesn't. And if that's what this is going to be, where Nebraska's, they're a tough little team, nice little story, but nope, they just lost again.
Moral victory, though.
Yeah,
moral victory.
Oh, they played well against Michigan, but couldn't close it out. No, then that's not going to. Now the question is, can Fred get this team to close out these wins? They're not a great free throw shooting team, which concerns you.
They missed 3 front ends of 1-and-1?
2 for sure.
2 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 front ends that were critical down the stretch.
Late.
Yeah, they missed critical jumpers down the stretch that were open. Now you got to. That's if you're a Nebraska fan. If I'm a Nebraska fan, I'm walking out of there going, okay, this is a pretty good Nebraska team now. They are tough. They're real. Bandamel is a real dude. Okay,
good defender.
Excellent.
Good defender. He's pesky.
Well, he's more than pesky. I don't like the word pesky because it denotes just a little guy that's kind of tough.
I wouldn't say that. You can do it how you want. He's pesky.
He is tough. Juwan Gary's tough. Sam's tough. Derek Walker's playing really well. Derek Walker takes it right into the 7'4" Edie a few times.
Yeah, how about that?
I know.
How about that?
He really knows how to work angles, and he could put on a clinic on how to put the ball off the glass.
14 points and 10 rebounds for Walker in 33 minutes against the 7'4" monster Zach Edey.
Took it right to him. If he can take it right to Edie and Kalkbrenner, which he did. He buried Kalkbrenner, Derek Walker. He made him look like a high school player. If Walker can do that against Kalkbrenner at Creighton and Edie at Purdue, he can do it against anybody. Now, I will say this: that guy that jumps off the floor quick, Trace Jackson Davis,
mm-hmm.
Is that his name?
At Indiana, yeah, yep, Indiana.
He's a quick jumper. That caused Derek some more problems.
Right,
quick jumper.
But the fact he was holding his own against a 7'4" monster,
he did more than hold his own.
Who right now, Zach Edey is seen as this early in the season as the player of the year in America. I mean, something has to change for him not to be the national player of the year, not just Big Ten, national.
He did more than hold his own.
He is the favorite to win that award right now.
Edie,
early in the season,
11 points, 10 rebounds, 17 rebounds, 0 assists, 5 turnovers. They did a good job on Edie doubling him, and then he is that stat line. The weird stat of the game to me was Edie 0 assists, 5 turnovers. Because now you were in Kansas City, the Brewery, you probably couldn't watch.
I watched it.
Okay, but you probably couldn't watch it quite like I watched it.
Okay,
Edie is a good passer. He is. 5 turnovers, 0 assists was weird to me because he passes it well out of the double team. Maybe they weren't making shots, whatever. But
he took 7 shots. That's it.
Yeah,
7.
They did
a
a good job. They did a good job on it. That's good. That Nebraska plays legitimately good defense now.
I know. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Makes me smile.
Tough. Yeah, they're tough. They added those additions are good. Then they got the holdover guys to play well. Man, they got to keep Derek healthy and in the games.
Yep, that's a key. Derek since Derek Walker returned.
Yeah,
the Friday after Thanksgiving in that tournament in Orlando. I mean, they lost that game to Memphis, but after that, they beat Florida State. They beat Boston College.
Yep.
They beat Creighton.
Uh-huh.
They hung against Indiana, lost by double digits. They hung. And they forced Purdue into overtime.
Right. Yeah, this is interesting.
He is incredibly important, and he's improved a lot since last year even.
Yeah, think about what we're talking about right now. how we're talking. This is informative. Think about how we're talking about Nebraska right now versus how we're talking about them going into the Creighton game. Remember what we were saying?
God.
Hey, Jake, remember what we were saying
Yes.
going into this stretch of Creighton, Indiana, and Purdue?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, that's going to be horrible. It's all gonna fall apart then.
We did.
Instead, they came out the other end, and what were we saying?
1-2, but nearly 2-1 in that stretch.
Yeah, and you never would have thought it went like it did.
No.
You never would have thought that going in. Coming out, they look a lot different to me. They feel a lot different. It feels a lot different than it did going in. Now, Fred said, no, this is about what I expected from this. Fred must have, he must have known they're all right. But again, they're going to have to find offense late in games when it gets tough.
But stop right there, because Nebraska was trailing in the second half by 14 points. It was 13 or 14 points they were down, but they went on a quick 10-0 run, helped by Tominaga making some threes.
They were down double digits.
Because Tominaga got a 4-point play, hits a three, makes a free throw, then hits another three, and then I think Bandama made a three. So there was three 3-pointers and a free throw to spark a 10-0 run to make it a 4-point deficit.
Bandama was really good early, and Tominaga was really good late. Bandama kind of got him out of the chute. With his offense, Jake, with his defense always, but with his offense, he had most of his offense early. It did Emmanuel Bandamel. I think Casey really hit some big shots late. So Casey finished with 19. Now Casey's just gotten better. I mean, you got you are, and I like this about you. You're very much about development. You have to say that Casey Tominaga has developed.
Yes, and when a guy like that who can make a bunch of threes gets confident, watch out. And he's been making some threes.
But what I like about him is he's not reliant on it anymore. He has a mid-range game now.
6 of 12. He took 4 non-threes.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
He'll go and shoot mid-range, and he'll try to get to the hoop. And he's playing a little defense now. He's getting deflections. He's still a liability on defense because he's so little. Yep. But I'm. You can tell I'm into it now. This is an interesting conversation about Nebraska because I'm into it, and I think they can be pretty good, but they're about one injury away from trouble.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't have. They're not deep. They can't lose. You can't lose Griesel. You can't lose Derek. You can't lose Bandamel. You can't lose Gary. You can't lose any of those guys to injury. You can't. You'll be in trouble.
I mean, we saw at Indiana without Griesel, it wasn't good. Wasn't great. He was not good Saturday. He was 2 for 14. He's still fighting off the illness. He was still not for sure going to play in that game, right? It was kind of still up to game time.
I think it was a little dicey.
Yeah, it was dicey.
Yeah, I think it was a little dicey.
He didn't play great. 2 for 14, 5 points, 8 rebounds. It's good to see that. But that's the guys leading the way on the court for you in terms of the point guard. Yeah. And without him, they didn't look very good against Indiana.
No. Yeah,
they hung tight in that game. They hung.
Yeah.
But they never got it, they got within 7, and then they pulled away beyond that.
I'm going to go back to expectations.
Yes, let's go back to expectations.
You can't ramp those up a little bit?
Well, okay, so you said something you said, I'm not jumping to 8 and 12. 6 and 14, 7 and 13, fine. I can live with that.
Well, that's one game away from 8.
8 and 12 means you're pushed the tournament, though.
I know.
You push the dance. Especially,
so you can't make
if you beat Kansas State Saturday.
Yeah.
Get a big non-conference win against a team that's playing good basketball in the Big 12.
Okay, yeah.
That's a big game. It's a big game.
Big game. God, I'm tempted to go down.
So if you were to get 8 conference wins, that puts you now at 14 wins overall. You're at 6. You beat Kansas State, big win, big non-conference win. That's 15. That's still not enough for the dance. You didn't win. You didn't do well enough for your non-con again.
No. You're right. No, I get you. I got you. I know, and you know what? I really appreciate your hesitancy here. To not go overboard. And I don't think I'm going overboard in saying, now they intrigue me, and I think maybe 8 and 12 could be cool. They start winning games, though. They're 0-2.
Yep.
I mean, we can't just keep having a conversation. Well, they came close, but they're 0-4.
So if you go back to what we talked with Robin Washington about before the season, he said he expected 10 wins was the goal total.
Total.
Not conference game.
That's
10.
over, right? He's got to reconsider.
Right. I would think that in this current conversation, your range 6 to 8 wins in conference play. I think if you don't get to 6, you're disappointed, right?
Yeah.
I guess still 6-14 is still not a good season, but at this point, the way they're playing, as long as there's not a major injury,
right,
it's disappointing if this team does not get to at least 6 wins. That's not me saying that, that's not even potentially a tournament. That's
you know
not
what?
Even saying it's
you know what
NIT.
else is interesting about this conversation is we're not even talking about Fred on the hot seat, which there's a reason for that. Because you like the way the team looks.
They've improved.
I like the way the team looks. The fan base likes the way the team looks. They want Fred to succeed. They do. You can tell, right? This fan base generally wants Fred to succeed.
He's a likable guy.
Likable, and he made these changes that are very evident.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I think people appreciate that. And he has a team, and Fred says it. Fred said, this is a team that I think people can get behind, that will want to get behind. They are. Likeable bunch of dudes. Bandamel finishes his press conference the other day and fist pounds everybody in the room.
Dude.
Yeah, likable dude. Then he smiles. You see him, he picks up Jaden Smith 84 feet from Purdue's basket, smiling. He has a smile on his face. He loves it. I love Juwan Gary.
I do too.
I love him.
Infectious energy.
Tougher than hell.
He's got energy though.
Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of energy.
He's tough.
Oh, those guys. Oh, Fred, I don't know. I mean, I think he identified guys. We got to get some tough dudes in here.
Yep.
Sam's tough.
Sam is tough.
Tough dude, man. Got those big.
Walker's tough.
Walker's a dude. God, Walker's a smart player. The way he works, like Bandamel identified it, the way he works angles against those bigger posts is exquisite. And the way he uses the backboard is exquisite. He's not a big jumper. Jake, have you ever seen him dunk? Walker?
No.
I'm sure he can. But he doesn't
I'm trying
dunk.
to think about
He
that.
never dunks because he doesn't jump. He's not a jumper.
But you know what? He finishes well.
He finishes at the rim.
Left and right.
Thank you. He's a finisher.
And against
That's why you
pressure.
like him, because he finishes at the rim.
Yes.
He does.
Because against bigger dudes.
Remember those years at first, Fred's couple years, they just couldn't finish.
They just kept missing everything at the hoop.
Now you got to appreciate they have a center, an undersized center that finishes at the rim. Reminds me of Andre Smith, the former Husker, played for Moab.
Huskers fall, but
don't say here we go. Do you remember Andre Smith?
I don't think I was alive when he was
you weren't
playing.
alive. You weren't alive. Your dad was, though.
Yeah, I can honor him and respect him though.
Yes,
I
you
respect the great
All right,
Andre
now,
Smith.
it's nice to see you smiling over there.
Yeah, it'll go away for NFL winners and losers. But that's in 2 more seconds. We got more next, an early break in the ticket.